What is up, my friend? Jacob here with another video, and today I want to talk about 3 levels of recording interfaces. Firstly, we'll talk about what interfaces are and what they actually do in the recording space, whether you're at home, whether you're in a studio, or a big commercial facility. I'm going to talk about the 3 tiers. When I say tiers, I mean by price range between 0 and 500, 500 and 1500, or 2K maybe, and 2K and up. And I'm going to talk about the pros and cons and what each one is more specifically geared towards. So first off, what is a recording interface? The most technical explanation is that a recording interface essentially transforms analog signal into digital signal that can be read by your computer in your digital audio workstation, or your DAW. Or you could explain it like this: it converts analog voltage, positives and negatives, into digital ones and zeros that your computer can understand. These interfaces will handle multiple different inputs, like microphone inputs, instrument inputs. Some can handle digital inputs. It'll also handle all of your outputs, like headphone outputs, monitor outputs, and different line outputs for different purposes as well, depending on what tier we're talking about. Sometimes these interfaces will include built-in preamps. They all include some form of conversion, and some even include DSP, which is essentially built-in processing power that'll take the load from your computer and instead putting it on the interface's own processor. Who needs recording interfaces? Anybody who wants to record anything from anywhere, like vocals, instruments, podcasts, etc. So let's break them down into the 3 levels and what they're for. Let's call this level 1, the consumer grade interfaces. These are going to be great for home recordists, beginners, maybe independent artists who are just recording at home. Sometimes also some of the newer interfaces will be USB-C, maybe even Thunderbolt. They'll typically include 1 or 2 microphone preamps, sometimes instrument inputs as well for direct guitars or direct bass inputs, and some very basic analog to digital, digital to analog conversion. Usually, these level 1 consumer tier interfaces are very plug and play. Literally any digital audio workstation, whether you're on Logic Pro, Pro Tools, FL Studio, whatever, you plug the interface in, it'll be read instantly by the DAW, and you'll be able to get recording pretty quickly. Here's some popular models that you might have seen in this level 1. There's the Focusrite Scarlett i2i or 4i4, which retails for about 160 Canadian dollars. I have the list right in front of me. The 4i4, which has a little bit more preamp power, retails at just about $250, $300 Canadian. There's also the PreSonus 24C, which again retails around that $200 mark. And then just a grade above that, not quite in our level 1 price range, but the PreSonus 68C retails at just over $500 Canadian, and it has a lot more mic input and processing power. The next one in this list is the M-Audio Air, which retails at just around $400. There's the Behringer UMC 204, which you can get as low as $150. And my favorite on this list, probably only because it's made by SSL, is the SSL2 or 2 Plus, which you'll find between $200, $300. And again, these level 1 interfaces are affordable, fairly reliable, and very easy to use plug and play. The cons of these, however, is that they're very basic sound quality. The conversion is not top-notch. If they're cheap, it's because they're made cheap, right? They have limited inputs and outputs, and they don't have any digital signal processing or DSP built into the units. Next, let's talk about the level 2 interfaces, which is another grade above, typically between $500 and $2,000. And these are great for intermediate to advanced producers, serious artists and mixers, and some pretty good project studios. Some of the key features of these mid-tier interfaces are higher quality preamps and converters. So the components that they're made with are a bit higher quality, meaning that we'll have a little bit more digital fidelity, let's say, or digital resolution by the time it actually hits our DAW. You'll typically find more inputs and outputs in these devices as well. They're going to be much faster, Thunderbolt, USB-C, and some of them offer DSP for real-time monitoring with effects. When I say real-time monitoring, I mean you will use the interface's proprietary software to monitor at near zero latency while recording. Some popular models include the Universal Apollo series, namely the Twin and the X4. I myself, in my studio, use an Apollo system. It's a bit bigger, therefore has more inputs and outputs. It's a little out of this mid-tier price range, but it's very close. And it's made by the same company, and I absolutely love it. It gives me everything I need. I have 4 microphone inputs. I have 8 line inputs. I have 2 instrument inputs on the front. I have 8 line outputs. I have digital inputs, digital outputs. I could do multiple sets of monitors. I have 2 headphone outputs. It's absolutely great. And there's 4 cores of digital processing as well. So by far my favorite one on this next little list. Next is the RME Babyface Pro. I have the list right in front of me here. The Apogee Duet Quartet, which I've used some Apogee stuff and it's been fantastic. Sorry, I forgot to mention the prices. The Apollo Twin models, some of the newer ones, go for about $1,000 to $1,200. The RME Babyface Pro, which is a pretty well sought after interface, will retail about $1,500 Canadian. And the Duet will sell at about $1,000. And the Quartet, let's check here, Quartet will sell at just over $1,300. There's also a company called Antelope who makes the Zen Go, will sell at about $600 Canadian. And the Zen Q you will usually find around $900. There's also the Rupert Neve interface, which is the MBC, which I wasn't familiar with until I started making this list. It's a little bit out of this price range. And lastly, there's also this Heritage Audio i73 Pro, which will sell at about $1,600 Canadian. In this level 2 mid-tier interfaces, the pros are that you're getting very pro quality audio for a very low cost. There's more expandability as far as inputs and outputs, some digital inputs, some digital expansions, whatever else. And these all include onboard DSP for real-time processing. The cons is that they're at a bit of a higher cost. There is going to be some learning curve because you are going to be using their own proprietary software to do some of the routing. Plus, just the functionalities are a little more complex, but really, really dope. And now let's talk about our third tier, the level 3. This is commercial studio grade level interfaces. And at this point, they're barely even called interfaces anymore. Now they're just called converters. And this is perfect for commercial studios, pro engineers, and full-time producers who work in commercial studio environments. This is great for commercial studios who are running big sessions and need lots and lots of inputs. Some of the key features are top tier A to D, D to A conversion. You won't find better anywhere else than in this tier of interface. There's tons of I/O. Some of these will literally do 64 channels of audio in one shot, and you could link them together to create this just mecca of I/O. A lot of these you'll find in rack mount units, which brings the downside that a lot of them actually require PCIe integration, which means you're going to have to buy some kind of expansion for your computer that can hold PCIe cards. So it can get a little bit complicated for the connectivity, but when you're running a commercial studio, this is something that you don't overlook and you just do it anyways. Some of the popular models in this category is the Avid HD Carbon, which retails at about $5,500. But I mean, these things are absolute monsters. There's also the Lynx Aurora, which was really popular and still is quite popular in the studio scene. I don't believe it's something that is still made these days, so you do have to find them used, but they're really great converters, and you could find them used for about $1,000, believe it or not. But of course, you have to take into account the PCIe expansion for your computer, which will drive up the cost of this setup a little bit. Next is the Apogee Symphony Studio, which is their top of the line converter at the moment. And it is actually connectable using USB-C, which is fantastic. This thing retails for about $3,400. And last but not least, there's the Focusrite Red series, which retails at about $4,300 Canadian and has just about as much connectivity as you would need. So what are the pros and cons of this level 3 top of the line series? Pros, they have exceptional sound, the best conversion in the game. They're extremely reliable with fairly simple system integration, and they have an insane flexibility when it comes to inputs and outputs for your system. The cons is they are out of most people's price ranges, and some of them, like the Avid Carbon, is tied to a specific DAW. So you wouldn't be able to use the Avid Carbon with Logic Pro, for example. So which level is right for you? If you're home recording, just doing some basic stuff, go with level 1, the consumer tier. If you're serious about quality and your productions, you should consider working at that level 2 in the mid-tier audio interfaces. If you're running a commercial studio and you're hosting multiple different clients with lots and lots of inputs and you need that flexibility and that expandability to your I/O, consider getting into that studio tier level 3 of interfaces. And I think if you're just getting started, you start at the lower tier, and as your skills grow and you start working with more clients or you start releasing more quality songs, then consider upgrading. So that's it for this week's video. I hope you found it helpful. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment down below and let me know which interface you're using right now and if you're thinking of upgrading. And also, if you're just getting started in audio and you're starting to record yourself at home and you're not sure what to buy or how much it costs, other than this video, I've also put together a free gear guide PDF just for you that explains what you're going to need, how much it's going to cost to get you started. www.mixwithjacob.com/gear guide. That's it for me. We'll see you soon.